Live. We are live. All right, we did it. All right, good morning. We are very, very late this morning, so we're going to get rolling right into it. My name's TJ. This is Manhood. This is just a daily Bible study get-together where I play Elden Ring poorly, and we attempt to go through a chapter or two of the Bible a day. We're here in the DLC of Elden Ring. We're going through that. And today we're going to be going through Job 22 through 24, theoretically, depending on how much we can actually get through. But man, these chapters get pretty painful. It's going to be interesting. Eliphaz is one of the friends. He finally drops all pretenses of everything he's set up to this point. What is that? And starts just straight up accusing Job of sin. And very specific sins. We're going to see that, which is super interesting to me as well. What is that? Is it down there? I don't know. Job responds in an incredibly relatable way. Essentially just, hey, if I could just find God, I could talk to him and figure this out. But I can't. And so, yeah, excited to go through that. Before we do that, we're going to go through a couple things as we kind of prime the morning a little bit. One of which is our daily proverb, and then we'll go through gratitude for the day, and we'll jump in. So Proverbs chapter 11, starting in verse 3, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the crookedness of the treacherous destroy them. Hold on. I'm going to sneak up on this guy real quick. We got him. Great work, everybody. We did it. X Plays. Thanks for being here. Sweet, we did it. I really like short proverbs. We're not going to go through the whole thing. Train, good morning. Happy Sunday. Gee, thank you for liking it, man. I appreciate that. We're tired today. We played games a little late last night with a good friend, and so I'm a little tired. But that brings me to my gratitude for the day, which we'll jump into. Which is I got to go fishing with my kids yesterday. Super fun. We had a good time. We caught a actually kind of ridiculous number of fish, which was cool. And then I'm thankful yesterday was just kind of a day of rest, which was good. It was super, super good. Super good. Whoops, that was a mistake. Pushed the wrong button. And then I'm also grateful that I got to have that time of playing games with a buddy of mine. So it was great. All right, we're going to start out in, 22? Before we do that, we'll run through a quick recap for anyone that may be new here, and we'll jump into it. Trent's thankful for rest. Also had a 3-day weekend with my kids and family. That's fun, dude. 3-day weekends are awesome. I need one of those soon. It'll be good. It'll be awesome. All right, quick recap. We go through this. It gets a little bit repetitive, but for anyone who hasn't been here, I just like to go through essentially where we're at in the story. So up to this point in the book of Job, Job has lost everything. He's lost, I feel like I'm going to get attacked in here. He's lost his wealth, his children, and his health. There was a meeting up in the divine council up in heaven. Day, thanks for following. I appreciate it. Where he's essentially, God is talking with the sons of God is how they're phrased, right? And the accuser comes in, the adversary, and he says, hey, have you considered my servant Job? There's no one like him on the face of the earth. This man is honorable and upright, blameless, right? Give him some thought. And so he allows the enemy to test him, right? And he says that he will not abandon God, even if he tests him to the end. And so we've been wrestling through this. Job's lost it all. And now we're looking at a situation where his friends have come to quote unquote help him. They're there to bring him some reprieve. It's not going super well at this point. Because that quickly shifts to where they're like, hey, man, you must have sinned. God's just. You must have done something wrong. My camera's out of focus. Here, let me fix it. Hold on. Thanks for letting me know. Hold on. Stay here. What's that? You like that better? Is that good? I think that's good. Better. Sweet. Thanks, Faithful Sheriff. I appreciate it. Oh, hey, Day. Thanks for the power gems. What a blessing, man. I appreciate it. That's awesome. I need to put on a lantern here. Anyway, friends come to help him out. That doesn't really work too well because they're essentially like, hey, God is just. You must have sinned. All that we know is that he uplifts the faithful and tears down those who are unrighteous. So you must have done something wrong. So now we've just seen like chapter after chapter of him going back and forth. Yeah, we're talking about Joe, Faithful Sheriff. What is my build? Faith Dex build up to this point. And so we've been going back and forth. We got Eliphaz, we got Bildad, and we got Zophar coming up against Job, and things are getting more and more raw, right? So he's been trying to defend his integrity. And now we're moving into chapter 22, where we're going to go in and kind of explore that together. So we'll hop into that, and we will slowly read while we try to play this game. It'll be great. So Eliphaz, first friend to speak. He was back in the day, right back in the beginning. He was kind of the most gracious friend. Still said quite a bit of stuff that was a little too simplistic in understanding, right? But things that were generally true. He also brought a lot of grace to his conversation and his argument of like, hey, man, just turn back to God. I don't know what you've done wrong. I know that you've been a good man. I know that you've done all these good things. You've been a really good guy. And I know it's rough, but just repent. Man, I missed him. Turn back to God, and he will turn back to you. These weapons don't do super well with the... Oh, I hit the sax. Common question is, why was Satan showing up in front of God when he got kicked out of heaven? I honestly, my perception and understanding of that, Sheriff, is I think very similar to what we see in Revelation, where God is controlling the themes and the things that are happening in the world, even with what seem to be the enemies. He's in utter and total control. That's my understanding of this, is even those who come against him still have to come give an account. It's not that God is battling with the enemy on equal footing. This enemy is still in total servitude to him. That's my understanding. What's up, Reverb? Prospecting with Dallas. Thank you so much, Prospecting. I appreciate it. Thanks for following as well. Oh, that's an interesting thought, Sheriff. I don't know. I'm not sure. Might be true. Sheriff was like me. Has the thought that it is to represent the earth, and that's why he was allowed to show up to the meeting. What's up, Redeemer Swan? Welcome in. Okay, so Eliphaz the Temanite answered. We're about to see things get kind of real here. Can a man be profitable to God? Was that the end of this whole area? Did I just finish it? Do I need to leave? Can a man be profitable to God? Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Swan. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Struggling over here. Surely he who is wise is profitable to himself. Is it any pleasure to the Almighty if you are in the right? Or is it gain to him if you make your way blameless? I was just trying to run up to a tumbleweed. Amen, Johnny. Welcome in. Happy to have you here. How do you feel about the Book of Enoch? I do not feel qualified to give an answer to that question. That's how I feel. I haven't spent enough time in it to even understand. My understanding is based off other people's opinions that I have read. So I will abstain. Oh, let's see if I die here. No, I didn't. I'll abstain from answering. Until I know more, I don't think I can give a good idea. Mitch, thanks for the compliment, man. I'm happy you're here. All right. Is it any pleasure to the Almighty if you are in the right, or is it gain to him if you make your ways blameless? This is true. Thank you, Mustard. I appreciate that. Dijon mustard, by the way, which is one of the best kinds. Thank you for following as well. This is actually true, right? And Job kind of covers some of this earlier on. It's like, hey, what does it profit God if I'm good, right? I can't be good enough to be helpful to God or to be good to God, right? Even my blamelessness is still filthy rags. And we see that later on in the Bible. Your righteous works are as filthy rags unto the Lord. And then Job kind of echoes that thought and that understanding as he's going through his conversation. Now, what Eliphaz is saying at this moment right here, before we get further in, is actually bridging upon truth, right? He's saying, hey, it doesn't benefit God if we do right. God doesn't need us in order to exist or to live or to be blessed. And so it doesn't matter if you've done good or you haven't done good, or you are great or you think you're good, or you've made yourself right with him. He doesn't necessarily need you. I feel like I think this is a nice pathway to death over here. What do we got? Is there anything over here? Let's see what this says. No up ahead. All right, nope, there's not. Morning, Cub. The Tin Man. Thanks for being here. If you enjoy it, you're welcome to stay. I'm going to die by these roller guys real quick. Oh, here we go. Blessing of America. Who is he attacking? No, I'm good. I don't really want to fight those. Are you trying to find ties between Elden Ring? No, we're just reading the Bible while we play. This is kind of like two people watching birds while they read through the Word, except that I'm much more distracted than a bird would make me. So, no, we're not finding any ties between the game. We just happen to be playing it. Yeah. All right. Surely he who is wise is profitable to himself. Is it any pleasure to the Almighty if you are in the right? Or is it gain to him if you make your ways blameless? Is it for your fear of him that he reproves you and enters into judgment with you? And now I think he's going into, it's not ridicule might be the wrong word, but kind of an argument of ridiculousness. So he's like, you think it's because of your righteousness is why he's doing this? Right? And then he says it's not your evil abundant. So he's like, hey, it's definitely not the fact that you're righteous that this is happening, which is drastically wrong, right? He says one thing that's true. Man, my thing is going to struggle here. We're going to let them kind of fight this guy. Maybe we just stand back a little bit, huh? Do we have any holy grease? Let's see. I'm going to stand back here. Hold on. Oh, I thought I saw somebody coming up here. We do. Let's put it on. We got a whole bunch of it. All right, let's ride. All right, so is it for your fear of him that he reproves you? Which this is actually, the kind of question of ridiculing is actually closer to reality than anything else that Eliphaz guesses, right? He's like, hey, it can't possibly be because you're righteous is why he's doing this to you. There's no way. And that's closer to reality. At some point, we're going to have to get something that can actually handle the amount of work. Or maybe switch to like console streaming so that it doesn't take so much of the... Okay, that didn't work. That did not work. Okay, and then he says, hey, he's entering into judgment with you because you fear him. And he's like, well, they're definitely not. Is not your evil abundant? And then he says, there is no end to your iniquities. So here's where it gets really interesting. Eliphaz switches directly to like unknown, essentially accusation of really, really direct and specific sin. So he goes from this concept of, hey, you may have done something wrong, you need to repent and God will have you back, to now a direct approach of, here's exactly what you must have done wrong. For this to make sense, I have to be able to explain it. And so here we go. This is what he says here. You have exacted pledges of your brothers for nothing and stripped the naked of their clothing. So he goes pretty extreme right off the gate. You have given no water to the weary to drink, and you have withheld bread from the hungry. The man with power possessed the land, and the favored man lived in it. You have sent widows away empty, and the arms of the fatherless were crushed. You'll see here, like, this is the things that he's calling out are extremely important to God. So he's essentially picking some of the most, like, in essence, depraved sinning that he can think of, right? I mean, we even see that, like, when Jesus talks about, like, you'll come to me and say, did we not do this? Did we not cast out demons in your name? Did we not love you? And he'll say, I'll tell you, I didn't know you. And then he says, whatever you've done for the least of these, you've done for me. Bella, welcome in. Thank you for being here. And so even Jesus reiterates this idea that care for the widows, care for those who are oppressed, those who are weak, is some of the highest importance things that we can do. And this is what Eliphaz is now attacking, right? This guy who came in soft at the beginning is now shifted to attacking directly this guy in some of the most sad and, like, extreme ways that he possibly can. He's like, based upon your suffering, man, you must have done the worst of the worst. You must be defrauding people. You must be stripping people of their clothing. You must be keeping and making sure that widows have nothing to eat and drink. You're doing the worst of the worst, right? The arms of the fatherless were crushed, right? You're attacking orphans and widows in their distress, where Jesus later on literally says, perfect religion is nothing more than this, to bless orphans and widows, right, in their distress. Therefore, snares are all around you, and sudden terror overwhelms you. We're just taking a quick look as kind of a cinematic movie over here while we read this. Sudden terrors overwhelm you, or darkness, so that you cannot see, and a flood of water covers you. Is not God high in the heavens? See the highest stars, how lofty they are. But you say, what does God know? Can he judge through the deep darkness? Thick clouds veil him so that he does not see, and he walks on the vault of heavens. Will you keep to the old way that wicked men have trod? Will you not repent, Job? Will you not turn back from what you're doing? What's going on? Ready? Freddie Miranda, welcome in. Happy to have you. All right, then he said, oh, hold on. All right, should we call our guy in? What happens if I put on holy grease first and then call him in? Does he get holy grease, or does he still have to put on himself? Let's see. Left wing, welcome. Oh, man. Focus on the dragon, dude. Try to grab this. There we go. Nope. Don't do that. All right, let's go wipe them out. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That seems to fit. I like it. Cub, thank you so much for the lightning bolt. I appreciate it. Sorry I didn't see that. All right, will you keep the old way that wicked men have trod? They were snatched away before their time. Their foundation was washed away. They said to God, depart from us. He's echoing a lot of what Job said, right? Except in the opposite fashion. So Job is like, hey, why don't we see the wicked? Like, I think what I'm struggling with, guys, is I'm sitting here and I don't see the immediate despair of the wicked. I see some living all the way to old age, never repenting of what they've done and saying, God, we don't need you. Depart from us. And now you see Eliphaz right after he says it, say the same thing. Will you follow the way of those wicked people? And will you say, depart from us, God? What can the Almighty do to us? Yet he filled their houses with good things, but the counsel of the wicked is far from me. The righteous see it and are glad. The innocent one mocks at them, saying, surely our adversaries are cut off, and what they left the fire has consumed. Agree with God and be at peace. Thereby good will come to you. So once again, a call to repentance. Receive instruction from his mouth and lay up his words in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be built up. If you remove injustice from your tents, far from your tents, if you lay gold in the dust and gold of Ophir among the stones of the torrent bed, then the Almighty will be your gold and your precious silver. For then you will delight yourself in the Almighty and lift up your face to God, who will make your prayer to him, and he will hear you and will pay your vows. We will be, yeah. Orphan of Cause. Well, you're one of the scariest guys I've ever seen in my life. Welcome in, though. All right, let's kill this guy, and then we'll keep going. I have defeated you, though. I will say that. We have overcome the Orphan of Cause. Wow. I ran to the wrong place at the wrong time right there. That was instant death. Yeah, it does come with the territory. That's very true. Yeah. You're doing a great job. You were a nice crescendo to that. Was that DLC? I can't remember if that was DLC or not. I'm not sure. I'm wondering if we need to wipe out all the side guys, you know? Wait to call in our buddy until we get a little further done. Because I think they're causing a lot of the problem. And they're causing the PC to struggle with frame rate, too. Also, I think this guy is a huge part of the issue. Okay, well, hold on. We're going to wrap around. Oh, goodness, dude. Hold on. All right, but to LFS's credit, he does shift back to, if you just give your heart back to God, he's going to redeem you. He's going to make it better. Everything's going to be okay. I wonder where this goes. Look at this. It's like a bowling ball. Oh, those are not good ones. Hold on. Morning, Keith. Welcome in, man. It's good to see you. Very good to see you. I appreciate you being here. All right, you'll make your prayer to him, and he will hear you, and you will pay your vows, and you will decide on a matter, and it will be established for you, and light will shine on your ways. For when they are humbled, you say, there's something scary coming up. What was that? It's probably orphan. What is that? Oh, okay. It's just a hog's tail. My bad. That was confusing. Justin, appreciate you being here. You will decide on a matter. He will establish it for you, and light will shine on your ways. For when they are humbled, you say, it is because of pride, but he saves the lowly. He delivers even the one who is not innocent, who will be delivered through the cleanness of your hands. Why do you believe in Jesus? Because he's the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through him. And he's proven himself, and I've seen way too much. I don't have a right to not believe in him. Kai, thanks for liking the live. Yep. Hold on. Do I want to kill that turtle or something? What's up with them defending the turtle? Okay, so quick thing here, then we're going to step into Job's response. What I find super interesting is that Eliphaz is attempting to maintain this Theater Jesus show. That sounds interesting. I've never heard of that. Eliphaz is trying to maintain his wisdom, right? So there's this element of him attempting to maintain his stand as it's seemingly, and I don't know if he is the eldest, but seemingly one of the more respected of the friends. And he does this early on by trying to keep in good conscience with Job. And then we see as we move further in, he's really struggling with it because he goes to direct accusation, direct Sights and Sounds Theater in Branson. What's MO? Montana? MN is Minnesota, right? Branson, Missouri. Thank you. See, that's confusing. I should probably know this. I should be better at geography, but I'm not. But there is a bit of confusion there that it would be MO for Missouri, in my opinion. So he's trying to maintain this element of like, I'm mature. You guys just, I'm holding to my to my maturity here. And so but he's struggling because he goes into a direct like accusation piece and then comes back and is like, but if you'll just turn back to God, he'll make it all right with you. He'll make it all okay and everything's going to be fine. And you keep saying this stuff that you think is right and it's just not right. Ooh, repeating crossbow. Is that the one that bear guy uses to kill us? So Job answered and said, today also my complaint is bitter. Man, he does like no damage on those guys. And I can't tell what damage they're doing on him either. Nope, don't do that. Whoops, don't do that either. I'm just wasting stuff. We're going to run in. We're going to do it. And then we'll read about Job. Yeah, and it makes sense. They've got a giant dragon and they're firing at me. Yeah, they've done nothing to him. Nothing. If we all just focus on him, nope. Nope, they won't do it. No, they're still going to come after me. So is the dragon. You guys just do some damage, all right? Okay. We're not doing damage. I want to stay behind him so that they hit the dragon one. Okay. Roll. Roll. I think we need to wipe out these other guys and then we can do it. Oh, okay. Well, or we'll just keep going toward him. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Job says today my complaint is also bitter. My hand is heavy on account of my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come even to his seat. I would lay my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know what he would answer me and understand what he would say to me. Would he contend with me in the greatness of his power? No, he would pay attention to me. So you guys are attempting to... Is there a lot of lag, Q? Sorry about that. I can only do so much. Can only do so much. Would he contend with me in the greatness of his power? So essentially, what he's doing is he's contrasting the way that his friends are responding to him to what he would expect from God himself. Right? God wouldn't do this to me. I might run past this guy and we might come back to this after we've gotten some more stuff. We'll come back around. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. I would know that he would answer me and understand what he would say to me. Would he contend with me in the greatness of his power? No, he would pay attention to me. Jesse says Isaiah 6:8. What is that, Jesse? You want to throw the quote into the chat? All right. You pay attention. There an upright man could argue with him, but I would be acquitted forever by my judge. I'm very, very confident that I would be acquitted by God, and yet y'all claim with me, holy smokes, these guys are crazy. American Tom says, I feel like Elden Ring is a representation of the devil and hell. I feel like it's a representation of the fallen world. That could be true. And you're traversing it, which we do every day. But if that does make you not want to be a part of it, you're welcome to scroll on. If you got a conviction against it, please, man. Follow that conviction. And Jesse, who am I, send me? I love that. That's also a depiction of, or here am I, send me. I think that's in the Divine Council as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where Isaiah is standing when that happens, which we see at the beginning of Job as well, which is good. What's interesting about what Job is doing here, so Eliphaz has attacked him extremely directly, and Job is not necessarily responding. Yeah, Jesse. Yeah, that's exactly it. Job isn't necessarily responding directly to Eliphaz, right? So Eliphaz takes it and he's like, "Hey, you must have defrauded the poor. You must have torn down the widows and left them alone in their distress." I'm trying to find this stupid. No, there he is, right there. Dude, they do a lot of damage. I'm not gonna be able to kill him. Wow, that's intense. All right. And what Job is doing is essentially calling back upon the Lord again, which I do find super, super interesting that he is there. And Jesse, that's where I'm at as well, man. I'm a guy to send me, even if it's something as simple as me sitting here in the early morning playing video games. How are you supposed to fight an army of them? Probably much more carefully than I'm doing, Keith. Probably much more carefully than I'm doing. All right. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backwards, but I do not perceive him. On the left hand, when he is working, I do not behold him. He turns to the right hand, but I do not see him. But he knows the way that I take. When he has tried me, I shall come out as gold. Pause. This is super important. This is echoed all throughout the Bible, the concept that God refines his people as one refines gold through fire. This is echoed all the time. It's echoed in Revelation. It's echoed, where is the other thing? I believe is it Zechariah? I'd have to find it. It is constantly echoed, this concept of God taking the people whom he loves and essentially reproving them through a burning away of everything that is not who they are supposed to be, right? As one refines gold, so he refines people. Yeah, Jess, it's a good verse, man. It's inspiring. Very, very inspiring. And so that's what he says here. When he has tried me, I shall come out as gold. It's the same concept. He's burning away these things in me. And after all this is said and done, I'm going to come out a different type of human being. Right? My foot has held fast to his steps. I have kept his way and have not turned aside. I have not departed from the commandment of his lips. I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my portion of food. But he is unchangeable, and who can turn him back? What he desires, that he does. I should have gone down this ladder. No, we're fine. What he desires, that he does. For he will complete what he appoints for me, and many such things are in his mind. Therefore I am terrified at his presence. When I consider, I am in dread of him. God has made my heart faint. The Almighty has terrified me, yet I am not silenced because of the darkness, nor because thick darkness covers my face. So he's essentially partially ignoring Eliphaz. Right, and he's responding to some of what he's saying, but he essentially turns directly back to, my problem is with God and not with man. And there's this element of deep isolation as he's already lost everything. His children, his wife has told him to abandon God. Kai, thank you for following, man. Appreciate it. His wife has told him to drop his integrity, curse God, and die. I mean, he's lost everything. This man is completely isolated. And then the three friends that are supposed to come and bring blessing to him just start vehemently accusing him. Showing me your map. This map is off the map that I have. I don't know. I somehow ended up right here. So I'm not totally sure. We need to get this map fragment probably. That would probably help us. But I came from over here to get to there. Yep. That's it. That's it. Okay, so then Job essentially turns to God and he's like, man, if I could just find you, then I could present my case before you. And he still says, but you're too great for me. Whatever you want to do, you can do, because I will never live up to the expectations of what I would need to in order to be seen as actually righteous in your sight. How did I miss that? Nice, we did it. Great job, everybody. What does this do? Probably should have read those signs. Look at that. There we go. There we go. Smith script spear. First playthrough. No, I have played through this before. When we're reading the Bible, we're going through it. It's actually much harder to do it on a game I haven't played before because I can't just kind of mindlessly walk through it while we're reading. I want to see though. Is that a dex weapon? Because I feel like being able to throw a quick spear would be sweet. I don't know where it went. Nope. Smith script spear. Why would I need 11 intelligence? Holy weapons. But there is a lot of weapons in this game, yeah. There's a ton of weapons in this game. I feel like that should have way more dex base to it. DE. So it's strength and dex. Can't do that one right. Yeah, that's just straight up. I need a bunch more arcane for some of this stuff. We should try Vike's War Spear. That sounds kind of cool. At some point, we'll do that. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to finish Job's response real quick, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Grab that. You should do like a Tasmanian Devil spin. I heard magic is OP in Elden Ring. I think it can be. Yeah, I think it can be. All right. Why are not times of judgment kept by the Almighty, and why do those who know him never see his days? Some move landmarks. They seize flocks and pasture them. They drive away the donkey and the... Oh, hold on. What does this do? They just close the door I just opened? Yep, it does. All right. Is it? What a lie. What a lie. They seize flocks and pasture them. They drive away the donkeys of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. So essentially, he's essentially repeating what Eliphaz was just blaming him for and saying, what I'm struggling with... Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Getting caught in my little alleyway. What I'm struggling with is the fact that I actually agree with you. And yet I'm not seeing these people get their judgment from the Father, right? They drive away the donkeys of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They thrust the poor off the road. The poor of the earth all hide themselves. Behold, like wild donkeys in the desert. What does this say? Oh, okay, this is just the same thing. Oh, man. These are like impressive ones. Heavenly breaths. Thank you. Thanks for sharing, man. I think we need more power. We gotta break them. Come on. Okay. We'll get him. Move this way. Come on. There's a lot of smithing stones over these things. How many times do I have to hit that before it does something? Oh, like that. Okay. We got it. We did it. Way to go, everybody. I'm not a big fan of those guys because I feel like it's taking way too long. Oh. Take a drink real quick. Behold, like wild donkeys in the desert, the poor go out to their toil, seeking game. The wastelands yield food for their children. They gather their fodder in the field, and they glean the vineyard of the wicked man. Right? They see none of the benefit, but do all of the work for these people who do evil. And yet I'm not seeing the evil pay their price. But I'm paying a price. Oh, hold on. What does it say? Read. Ladder ahead. Okay, thank you. What a helpful thing. They lie all night naked. So he's contrasting the poor and the needy with the wealthy, right? The wealthy and the wicked. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yep. That's great. They are wet with the rain of the mountains and cling to the rock for lack of shelter. There are those who snatch the fatherless child from the breast and take a pledge against the poor. They go about naked without clothing, hungry. They carry the sheaves. Among the olive rows of the wicked, they make oil. They tread the winepress, but suffer thirst. From out of the city, the dying groan, and the soul of the wounded cries for help. Yet God charges no one with wrong. Right? This is where, pay really close attention here, as you're interacting with people, and you hear people talk about, well, why does God condone things like slavery? This is a direct point of the fact that he does not. Right? The weight of the fact that, man, we know this stuff to be wrong. We know this stuff to be an abuse of power. This is like one of the most powerful chapters in the Old Testament, talking about like the justice of people against oppressors, right? That was really close to me dying again. It was like one health. Oh my goodness, man. We're good. There are those who rebel against the light, who are not acquainted with its ways and do not stay in its paths. The murderer rises up before it is light, that he may kill the poor and the needy, and in the night he is like a thief. The eyes... It's just a closed door. The murderer rises before it is light, that he may kill the poor and the needy, and in the night he is like a thief. The eyes of the adulterer... I felt like I rolled there. I did not. The eye of the adulterer, who also waits for the twilight, saying, no eyes will see me. Good job, we did it. Nope, didn't do it. Give me another one. Nope, still got hit. All right. So they hide in the dark and seemingly get away with it. And he veils his face. In the dark, they dig through houses. Day by day, they shut themselves up. Grab that. Let's keep going. They do not know the light, for deep darkness is morning to all of them, for they are friends with the terrors of the deep darkness. You say, swift are they on the face of the waters. Their portion is cursed in the land. No treader turns toward them, toward their vineyard. Drought and heat snatch away the snow waters, so does Sheol, those who have sinned. The womb forgets them. The worm finds them sweet. They are no longer remembered. So wickedness is broken like a tree. They wrong the barren, childless woman, and do no good to the widow. Yet God prolongs the life of the mighty by his power. They rise up. Oh, did you see that? I dodged it. They rise up when they despair life. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Is this his pet? We did it. We got it. Keep moving. Keep moving. I'm stuck. Here we go. All right. Great work, everybody. Is this where we came in? I think it might be. Ambush ahead. Great. So God prolongs the life of the mighty by his power, and they rise up when they despair of life. He gives them security, and they are supported, and his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted a little while, then they are gone. They are brought low and gathered up like all the others. They are cut off like the heads of grain. If it is not so, who will prove me a liar and show me there is nothing in what I say? So seemingly, where's my? Oh, it's right there. Okay. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yep. Yep. We're still alive. A lot of them. So this is the tension, right? And this is what comes up a ton, even here, as we're all trying to, study. Like some of the main questions in life are all bound around the concept of, man, if God is so good, then why is there like injustice in the world? If God is so good, why do we deal with this? If God is so good, then how come some people are, whether it's slaves, right? We get the question around cancer a lot, around like, how can a good God allow all this bad in the world? And it's like, man, this is directly wrestled with right here. Right? This is exactly what Job is wrestling with. It's like, man, seemingly innocent people are struggling while wicked people, at least for the time being, seem to grow old in goodness, right? Smithing talisman. What does that do? And so there's this weight and this pressure here of, I've done my best to follow God and to be blameless in his sight, and yet I'm dealing with severe, severe suffering. And yet all these people I see around me that defraud the poor, defraud the orphan, take advantage of the widow, seem to be doing just fine. And how do we make reconcile with this? And so one of my key application pieces is sometimes we don't get to know the outcome of what's going on. We don't get to know what God has planned for. And I was thinking a lot about, is it Hebrews that talks about the hall of faith, and then toward the end of it is like, but there were some who hid in. Did I come up that ladder? I don't remember if I came up that ladder. I think I did. Some were tortured, refused to be released. Others were sawn in two. Others were cut off. They did not receive what had been promised. The concept that these people that followed God did not receive the things that were promised. But then he says something interesting, which is, but God had something better planned for us, that only together with us could they be made perfect, essentially pointing to Christ. And so this is where we don't know, like we wrestle through a lot of these things, a lot of like what God is doing in our life, what God is doing in other people's lives, and why someone has to deal with this stuff. You think I can weave around him? We did. We got it. And the reality is there are going to be times where we don't get to have the answer, right? Job is sitting here in the midst of suffering, still trying to honor and give praise to God, give authority to God, while just wrestling with deep despair over what's happening. This is not the same area. That guy was not there. And God is patient. We see later on, and this is something that's actually really important to call out, is like some of what Eliphaz is saying, where he's like, hey, you're clearly in the wrong here. We're clearly in the right. Like, repent of this. God's going to come out, I think it's in 42, and essentially say, actually, Job was the most correct out of all of you, right? And so I've got to go. My kids are up. We got to go get ready for church. But life application piece as we kind of close out. We'll end it here. There are times where we feel alone while we're in the midst of this stuff. Oh, hold on. Need to break this thing. There we go. We did it. We did it. God is not fearful of our questions. He's not fearful of our doubt. And we even see this in the life of Jesus when it's the Roman soldier that comes before him and is like, man, I believe, help me overcome my unbelief. And Jesus heals his son. And so it's also super important that we remember, like, man, God is gracious, and he's gracious. And I know that Job's experiencing some despair, but he's also gracious to Job, and he allows for him to wrestle with this stuff openly. Hey, Cub, you have a great day as well. I'm going to go get ready for church too. I was going to see what we could find in here before we end. Look at this guy trying to hide in a corner like he's not alive. Spy. Smith script circuit. Is that what those like little guys use when they spin around? Ouch, did he throw something at me? Oh, he did. Okay. All right. We're out. You guys have a good day. Keep Christ the center focus of your life. Stay in step with the Spirit. We'll be reading probably some element of 25 through something. Usually we get one of the guys' debates and then Job's response, or vice versa. So we'll be here tomorrow morning. We're here every day, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. Today we're very, very late, but usually that's the same time. Lazarus, super happy to have you here, man. Glad to have you. So if you guys want to join in, like and follow, and we will be here. We've been here like 7 days a week the last few weeks. So it helps me in the morning because whenever I'm prepping stuff, if I have to prep to talk through something, I read it more closely and actually learn. So you guys are a blessing to me for allowing me to learn this stuff, and I appreciate that. So with that, stay in step with the Spirit. We'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys be blessed. And go to church if you can. Church is great. We're called to not give up the meeting together, so we're in the habit of doing. But always come together and encourage one another as long as it's called today. So with that, you guys have a blessed day, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning. All right, bye.